everyone, welcome to the weekly update. It is literally so busy in every part of the store right now. The only quiet place I could find to shoot the introduction was my office, so that's why we're starting in here today. Thank you for all your comments and all the engagement on the YouTube channel. Keep that up because that's where we draw winners every week from different things that we show in the video. And this week will be no different. But for last week, we talked about the heaters in the product spotlight. And Taylor Lee 4344, is that right, Sam?
Yep.
Okay, you won a 200 watt Cobalt heater. So if you'll get in touch with me, if you call the store or shoot us an email, we will get this to you if you can't come in and get it if you're not local. There is a couple of things going on this week, more than normal, and we're gonna get on to that right now.
Hi everybody, today's spotlight is going to be on the Doka white lip. Might be Doka, I'm not sure, I don't speak that language. These guys are African cichlids from Lake Malawi. They're going to get about 8 inches full grown. They're perfect roommates for peacocks, some of the smaller haps, and smaller umbunas. See if I can get them to eat. These are some Sarah O-nips, and they might be interested, they might not. They might think I'm going to eat them. Oh, they're figuring it out. Beautiful fish, metallic blue and purple. Actually very peaceful for one of the larger cichlids. Thanks, guys.
Hey y'all, it's Diana with Fishy Business here today, and the tank spotlight of the week is going to be our Aquarium all-in-one kits. So we have a couple of different kinds. There's the 10-gallon. These are all going to come with a filter, heater, a thermometer, a little net, a setup guide, and some water conditioner and flakes. The lid has the lights already built into it, so it literally is an all-in-one. All you need is the fish, the water. If you want a stand, we can get a stand. So we have our 10-gallon, we have a 20-gallon, we have a 29-gallon, and a 55-gallon. So we can, you have a lot of choices on what you want to do. So come in and pick them out. Thank you.
Hey guys, Hayden here. So today I'm going to be showing you guys an Acropora coral, so let's check it out. Alright, so here we have a couple frags of an Acropora coral. They can be fairly difficult. I definitely recommend an auto top off with them because they do not like slanty swings. The biggest thing about these guys is stable parameters. So you want to make sure your calcium stays as close to like 420 as possible. Your KH is close to 8 to 10 as possible, and magnesium around 1350. The most important thing is stability. And then if you want to see the mother colony I got over here, that's what those little frags will grow up into. It will take a couple years, but once they get nice and big, they look really beautiful and will look really good in your reef tank.
So, a product spotlight for the week is the Mag Float. Check it out. There are a million ways to clean algae in a tank, and everyone who has a tank has to deal with algae. But there probably isn't a cooler way than having a magnet that floats that you can run along the tank and clean algae with. This saves a lot of time, and we in service use this constantly. But these mag floats come in a lot of different sizes for a lot of different aquariums, and they are absolutely fantastic. And if you're trying to clean the tank real quick before somebody comes, company, or you're having guests, you don't have to put your hand in the tank. Again, if you lose it, it floats. Wonderful, wonderful way to clean algae in a tank. The mag float.
Hey, it's Kevin here. I'm going to show you some of the highlights of what I got in freshwater wise this week, but also too I want to show you my new batch of discus. These guys are now eating out of my hand. I had them on quarantine for a while. They're doing really well. I've got a great selection of colors. Oh, little pigs. This is something really cool I got in. These are really interesting little imports. These guys are little freshwater archerfish. They're called a small scale archerfish. They do well in total freshwater and don't necessarily have to be kept in brackish water. Got in some really nice looking red and white ryukins. The ryukins are an imported variety of the fantail goldfish that has a more compressed spherical shaped body. I got in some little baby red-tailed catfish. These guys are babies now, but they will get to be huge giants and will need a very, very large tank, preferably a 210 or bigger. I got in some really cool little pikehead crocodile fish. This is a peppermint pikehead crocodile fish. Try saying that 3 times fast. This is a different color variant than the ones I've had in before. These guys stay a little bit smaller. They do prefer live food. I got in some beautiful Madagascar rainbows. These are a somewhat smaller variety of the rainbow, but they're not a dwarf variety. They're getting photobombed. I got in some beautiful Madagascar rainbows. They're a slightly smaller variety of a rainbow, although they're not classed as a pygmy or a dwarf rainbow by any stance. They do usually reach about 3 to 4 inches. I got in some cute little honey dwarf gouramis. The little golden honey dwarf gouramis, they're about the same size as your regular dwarf gouramis, generally not exceeding 2 inches. I got in some really nice axolotl cories in. These guys are really, really cool with their stripes going in different directions. These guys usually top out about 2 inches and work very well as a scavenger in any community tank. I have an outstanding selection of large peacocks in right now. All these are large males. Excellent variety of colors in stock right now. Really cool Malawi African cichlid. I got in some bamboo shrimp. Bamboo shrimp, although they're fairly large, are no threat to any small fish or other crustaceans. They're pretty much filter feeders for the most part. I got in some nice looking royal Plecostomus. These guys usually don't get very large, usually topping out about 6 to 8 inches maximum size. I got in an awesome selection of Dumbo guppies. Dumbos have larger pectoral fins on the side, so they look like Dumbo ears on them. That's why they call them Dumbos. But I got a good selection of colors on these guys. All I got in on these guys are males though. My distributor does not sell females, but they will breed readily with any female fancy guppy. We got in some beautiful Dalmatian lyre-tail mollies. Needless to say where they get the name from. Really cool live bear to have. Usually tops out about 2.5 inches. Works really well in most community tanks.
So your tank tip of the week, feeding fish. So there's a lot we can talk about with this. What I'm going to talk about is interim feeding. So that's feeding when you're not actually feeding. And this helps a lot without putting too heavy of a load on your tank. We have in here lettuce clips that we can actually put seaweed on, and as you can see, you can watch the African cichlids go at it. This is a great way to feed after you've fed them their regular food, because they can gnaw at this for a long period of time after the fact, and it subsidizes their food. And you could do it in saltwater as well. Saltwater fish are a little more aggressive than freshwater fish in most cases, and I don't want to get stung by the fox face. But you can sit it on the ground, you can stick it on the side of the tank, and they will gnaw at it, and it'll give them a reason not to fight with each other, and give them some interim food. They were a bit ravenous. Okay everyone, you're stuck with me for saltwater this week. Diane will be coming at you next week. We're going to go through saltwater with what I've got, and know that there are 2 more shipments that haven't gotten here yet. One later today and one on Friday, so you definitely want to pay attention to Facebook after this is done. Okay, first fish of the week, Centropyge bispinosus, or the coral beauty angelfish. As all of you know, this is one of my top picks as one of the easiest to keep saltwater fish. It's one of the prettiest, and this one in particular is abnormal because it's so big. Usually we don't get them out of the wild this big, but this one, absolutely beautiful. The intensity of the blue, I don't know that you can see in the video, but it is gorgeous. This is the easiest angelfish to keep with corals. There's always 1 out of 100 that might mess with them, but this one is in every reef tank I service. This guy actually came in from a customer's tank, and that's why you can see he's got such a thick girth. This is the rectangle trigger, so if you have got a fish-only tank or an aggressive saltwater tank, this fish is fantastic. Very, very hardy species of trigger, beautiful in appearance, and this one is solid as a rock. Okay, what I want to focus your attention on right now are a lot of the smaller reef wrasses that came in. The filament fin, or the carpenter's wrasse that's to the right back here, phenomenal wrasse for a reef tank. Beautiful. The solarensis that's kind of coming into view on the left. There are a couple other, we have a Lubbock's, we have an orangeback fairy wrasse. Let's slide right over here. All of these wrasses are not only reef safe, but they're very peaceful, even with each other. Right over here. And we don't usually have this many to choose from, but if you have a reef tank, if you have a very peaceful tank, even if your tank's a little bit smaller, some of these wrasses will go absolutely perfect with just about anything, as long as it's not aggressive, and they're very peaceful with corals and invertebrates. So in keeping with doing something a little bit different this week, I'm kind of shooting the whole tank and talking about these bar gobies right here, which are fantastic midwater fish. A lot of color at a very cheap price, and as you can see, they will school together. You can also see the Bangui cardinals and the pajama cardinals, some of my favorite fish. They don't put a heavy load on a tank, they don't take up a lot of room, they don't get very big. And the coolest thing, parked up on this rock right here on the edge, is a little yellow clown goby. A lot of personality and a cool little fish, even if you have a small nano tank. Beautiful tang that came in last week is the half-black mimic tang. This is a mimic of a half-black angelfish. It is a phenomenal tang, extremely hardy, very cool species that goes well with other tangs. In this tank, a couple cool fish that came in was the sailfin tang. We also, which of course is one of my favorite fish. I don't think there's probably a hardier tang that you could put in a tank. Very social, very peaceful, and very long-lived. You can also see yellow chorus wrasses swimming around. This is a great little fish for a reef tank, in that they like to eat some of the problematic worms and things like that that pop in tanks. So we keep them in our reef tanks in here. They're typically very social, and they stay out a good bit. You can also see the eagly eye angel in the back, which is a beautiful dwarf angel. You can see in this tank the copper band butterfly, if he's gonna come back out. Yeah, we got a really little one. We are not big advocates of housing and keeping butterflies here at Fishy Business. Very rarely do we stock a lot of butterflies. However, when we can get healthy specimens of the copper band and the raccoon, we sometimes get them because the copper band, of course, is fantastic for eating aptasia and will sometimes gravitate toward regular food. We have had a good bit of success with that over the years, and in this specific occasion, we've got one. Okay, you can also see in this picture, this is a small Flamingi tang. I only got one of these. A few weeks ago, I was getting them regularly, but I haven't seen that many on the list lately. This is a phenomenal fish. Sam, if you'll swing around right here, this is what it actually becomes. It's one of the prettiest tangs there is. It will, the males will actually develop a unicorn. It's a phenomenal fish that goes well with lots of other tangs.
Just like Chuck said, there will be a whole, just like Chuck said, we're going to be getting a whole bunch of fish in today, Tuesday, and we will be getting a whole bunch of stuff in Friday. Hayden and I will be trying to do a big order, and we'll be getting a lot of cool stuff, so make sure you come and check it out. Just like Chuck said, we'll be getting a whole bunch of new fish in today, Wednesday, and we'll be getting a whole bunch of stuff in Friday. So make sure you come and check that out. Hey y'all, the plant spotlight of the week, we're going to be talking about the S. repens. The S. repens is one of my favorite plants. I love it so much. It is a type of carping plant in a way. It's a very easy to take care of, in my opinion. You got to make sure that you're fertilizing your tank, obviously, but it's a great plant to put in there. It adds a lot of dimension in like the foreground. I think that's right. And yeah, it's just really great. I love it so much.
Okay, everyone, thanks for watching this week. In keeping with the trends of the last couple of weeks, I'm going to give away a 90-gallon tank this weekend. At the end of the day on Sunday, we'll have the drawing here on YouTube. If you are local and can make the drive, come in and register to enter. You can come in each day, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. The last 90 we gave away 2 weeks ago we only had 17 entries, so the competition's not very tough for the chance to win. This is a used 90 that came in. It is not drilled, but it does have a 2x4 stand, so it would make a great tank for a lot of different reasons. And if you'd like it, it'd be pretty easy to win this week. So come by and check us out this weekend. Hopefully all of you are great. Keep the comments coming, the engagement coming. We appreciate it. God bless and have a great weekend.